Today's opening tip, LeBron James was upset that the Nets didn't have powder available for his usual pregame routine. Scottie, who forgot the chalk?
I think the guys behind the bench stole it behind the scores table. Yeah.
Fizz, you think that the Nets are up to some nefarious stuff there?
No, I think that's his own team that's supposed to have his chalk out there.
That's a good point. That is a good point. Yeah, bring your own chalk.
Bring your
Exactly.
own chalk.
That's how this works. Hey, all right, welcome into The Jump. I'm George Sedano, filling in for our fearless leader, Rachel Nichols, today, and I'm joined by our resident head coach, David Fizdale. Thank you, Fizz, for hanging out.
See you, brother.
And six-time NBA champ, Hall of Famer. Give it up for Scottie Pippen. There it is.
Absolutely.
All right, coming up, a report from The Athletic suggests that the Clippers aren't necessarily all feeling the way Kawhi Leonard and Paul George may be receiving preferential treatment this season. We'll discuss what that means for the Clippers going forward. But first, Dwight Howard is back in a Lakers uniform, his fifth team in 5 seasons, and Rachel recently sat down with Dwight to discuss his journey from superstar to nearly being out of the league, and of course, his redemption story this season. Let's take a look.
We've been in the gym. Yeah, we've been in the gym.
Underneath to Dwight with authority. Alley-oop to Dwight, who slams it home. Knocked out of bounds by Dwight Howard.
Career high shooting percentages, career high blocks. You took a pretty long and winding road to get here. How does it feel to be contributing that on a winning team?
Just filled with a lot of energy and joy just to be playing the game that I love. If I'm not in the game, I'm loud and I'm proud on the bench. I'm screaming, I'm dapping guys up. I'm telling them where all the coverage is at. Talking trash to the other team to try to get in their head. Whatever I got to do, I'm willing to do it for the betterment of our team.
You came into the league in a time that was all about the kind of player that you used to be, the traditional big man.
Yes, yes.
Now it's a league that wants unicorns. Where do you think you fit?
Well, you got to adapt. You got to adapt and change and try to grow. Blocking shots, rebounding, running the floor, setting hard screens, getting my guys open shots when I'm in the game.
I don't know if people can see, you're wearing a shirt that says, "I'm back," and then redemption and the Hollywood letters sign. What does that mean to you?
I'm back home. I'm back home. I'm back with my family. I'm back with the Lakers. And it's time to go get it. Redemption, it's time to go get it.
What do you need to be redeemed from? What are you trying to do in this year and this season?
Just myself. You know, get back to being who I am. Being free, loving the game of basketball, doing whatever it takes to win, not worrying about my ego or anything selfish, and focus on the one goal, and that's to win the championship.
Dwight, three, got it! An emphatic slam by Dwight. There's a block by Dwight Howard. How good has Dwight Howard been?
Did you always have faith you would get back to this point?
Yes, I never stopped believing, never stopped.
That it came with the Lakers of all teams. What went through your head the first time you put that jersey back on and looked at yourself in the mirror for the first time?
It wasn't even a jersey. I think the first time was the day after I had worked out with the team, and Rob came and got me a Lakers shirt to put on. I said, this time is gonna be right. And ever since then, I've just been grateful.
Everyone talked about what a tremendous attitude you had going into your workout, during your workout. You said in that summertime period that you had been humbled. What did you mean by that?
Well, when you go through, you know, some different situations in your personal life, you know, it could really affect you. And there were some things that I had went through personally that, you know, just kind of grounded me. I needed to go through some things that will bring joy and all the peace and tranquility that I have now.
How did all of that help you get to this place you are now, where you seem so comfortable in your own skin and with your role on the team, stuff that we didn't always see from you?
Well, it's kind of like I just found myself, you know, who I really am. You know, I spent a lot of time alone, searching, questioning, and, you know, I got my answers. You know, I found out who I am, who I represent, and I'm just very thankful to be with the Lakers again and, you know, just trying to help this team win the championship.
And they might. Thanks to Dwight for sitting down with Rachel there. After the Lakers win in Brooklyn last night, LeBron James was asked if the Lakers are, quote, one piece away from cementing their status as a title contender. LeBron responded, quote, "We have enough right now." Scottie, do you agree with that?
Well, if it comes from the king, I have to agree.
Yeah.
We've seen LeBron go into the playoff with a depleted team, and he's been able to come out on top. So I think this season he's really been doing a great job of instilling confidence throughout his teammates. That's why he's leading the league in assists, because he's willing to distribute and build confidence in these players. We know it's him and Anthony Davis are the names, but it's been the other guys that's been contributing to make this Laker team as good as they've been this season. It's been about Dwight Howard. It's been about JaVale McGee. Those guys have controlled the paint. They've established themselves as a good defensive team. And when you hear that coming from LeBron James, he knows what it takes to win a championship. I believe what he says.
Absolutely, and I just think those guys are understanding how to star in their role. And the more that they continue to grow in their role, and what he said, LeBron keeps instilling that confidence in them, by the time the playoffs roll around, that's not going to be a team you want to face. And for Dwight Howard, I'm really happy for him to see a young man evolve like that and finally be able to come to terms with, hey, I'm going to be a shot blocker, a rim roller, a runner, a great teammate. And now the benefits you can see is starting to come back to him.
I think we all agree on Dwight. I'm going to be the dissenting opinion on the Lakers needing more potentially. And this is the reason why. When LeBron is off the floor, which isn't all that much, it drops off like a cliff. And I just think that they need another guy who can initiate offense. Rondo, for as great as he's been in his career, isn't that guy anymore. I don't believe, not on a consistent basis. And Kuzma has struggled kind of with his role a little inconsistent. Some nights it's 25 or 30, other nights it's 4. So paging Darren Collison, who could be available, I know there's been rumors about that. Yeah. Someone who can stabilize that second unit would be great.
But I will battle you. When the playoffs when they hit, Rajon Rondo will be ready to roll. If you didn't see him a couple years ago with New Orleans and what he pulled off against Portland.
I saw it.
I'm just telling you, that guy, that's what veterans do.
Right.
The regular season, okay, you can say what you want, but when those playoffs hit and that popcorn's popping, Rajon Rondo's going to be ready to roll.
And I have to agree with you. They have the veteran players that are capable and willing to take them to the next level. And Rajon is definitely the guy that I believe that can carry this team. I saw what he did with a Bulls team before he broke his hand in the playoffs.
They had Boston.
Yes.
They had him.
This guy brings a lot to the table, as well as LeBron James, and it's hard for these players, being veteran players and played the amount of games that they played, to bring it night in and night out.
Right.
But they're setting up something very special here.
Yeah, I just think that the key words to everything you guys are talking about is a couple of years ago. And I think that, look, Father Time is undefeated, and everyone hits it at a little bit of a different time.
We're going to put a lunch on this one.
But we will. Let's do that. We'll put a lunch on that one. All right, let's move on. The All-Star starters were announced last night, and Hawks second-year guard Trae Young was among those selected. You can see he had an emotional reaction to finding out the news last night. It's good stuff there to see that. But, Coach, you agree with Young being named a starter?
I'm happy for him, but I don't agree with him. I still think that position voting it throws it off, because Jimmy Butler should be a starter, hands down, at the 2 in the All-Star game. And it's no knock on Trae. That's really good for the kid, and the kid is an offensive monster. But Jimmy Butler should be starting in that All-Star game.
Congratulations to Trae Young.
Yes.
Well deserving to some degree to the way that he's been playing. But to take Jimmy Butler out and put him ahead with what the Miami Heat have been able to do with a record of 31-13, that's an insult to Jimmy Butler. And that's why that fans should not be allowed to vote, because it's about the players that are out there playing against one another. They know who the dogs are. They know who the best players in the game are, night in and night out. And I'm not taking anything away from Trae Young. What I am looking at is how your team has performed thus far.
I am going to agree with one of the greats, a man who coached some of the greats. I'm with you on Jimmy Butler. He absolutely should have been in. But here's the thing. The way this thing gets split up is interesting. So 50% is the fan vote, 25% is the media vote, and 25% is the player vote. And I also think, as you pointed out, Fizz, the positionless part of this. We play in a game where there are no positions. We shouldn't even be talking about front court and back court anymore. Just give me the top 5 guys. And I believe, and maybe the guys in the studio in the control room can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm pretty sure Jimmy actually got more fan votes than Trae did too. The problem with Jimmy was that he was voted in as a forward, or he was depicted as a forward, and Pascal Siakam had more votes. The media actually voted Jimmy in as a starter in the front court, but the players, this is the interesting part. So the media had him in, fans had him just out, fourth, but the players had him sixth on the front court ballot. And I thought Charles Barkley made an interesting point yesterday, Scottie, and I'll ask you about this. He's like, hey, players don't like him because he sometimes can rub people the wrong way. And I feel like maybe that kind of bit him a little bit.
It's part of the game. Yeah. You know, you don't want players to like you. I watched a guy go through his whole career, speaking of Kevin Garnett.
Yeah.
He didn't give a damn if players.
No, right? He don't want friends.
And he brought that kind of attitude. But I don't think that kept him off of any All-Star balance. So I like Jimmy Butler keeping his attitude and being that dog in the league. And if players don't like him, hey, kudos to you.
Yeah, and he obviously he's found the perfect home because that's how the Heat are.
You know it.
It's all about we don't want anybody to like us. Yeah. We wanted it was us against the world type of deal, and so he's found the perfect situation for his attitude and the way that he approaches the game. You know, it's unfortunately he didn't get the vote, but his team is playing big-time basketball.
No doubt, and they'll play tonight. We'll have more on the Heat and Clippers tonight coming up in a little bit, and more on Jimmy Butler particularly. Yeah. But coming up, Steph Curry did not put the king, LeBron James, on his all-time starting five. Was the babyface assassin throwing a little shade at Bron? We'll get to that. But first, it's time for our distant replay from this date in 2002, featuring Scottie's teammate Michael Jordan on the Wizards.
Checking into the Washington lineup. Jordan draws a foul.
Oh, okay. That's an old man game there.
Got it.
Yeah.
Showing that mid-range, that old age.
They say that's not a good shot no more.
It was good for him.
Come on, man.
Good when you put it an and one.
Yeah.